Coco Gauff just survived one of the scariest matches of her Australian Open campaign, and it came against someone she knows extremely well. The third seed dropped the first set and looked completely lost before flipping a switch and absolutely destroying her opponent in the second. The comeback was brutal, the tennis was electric, and the drama was off the charts. Drop a comment right now and tell me, does Coco Gauff play better when she's down a set? Or does she just panic her opponents into collapsing? Coco Gauff just came through a third-round match at the Australian Open that had everyone nervous for about an hour. She faced fellow American Hailey Baptiste on Margaret Court Arena, and what was supposed to be a straightforward win for the world number 3 turned into a legitimate struggle before Gauff finally figured things out and closed it out 3-6, 6-0, 6-3. Let's start with the first set because it was genuinely concerning if you're a Gauff fan. Baptiste came out absolutely firing. She was hitting the ball with serious pace, taking control of rallies, and making Gauff look uncomfortable. The world number 70 was dictating play, opening up the court with brutal ground strokes and capitalizing on every opportunity Gauff gave her. Baptiste won the first set 6-3, and it wasn't even close. She was the better player for that entire set. Gauff looked tentative, overpressed, and couldn't find any rhythm. She committed 11 double faults in that opening set alone, which is absolutely ridiculous for a player of her caliber. 11? That's not nerves. That's complete malfunction, poise, and they weren't wrong. She was making beautiful shot selections, changing direction with precision, and playing what they called cold hard tennis. She wasn't just hitting hard, she was hitting smart, and Gauff had no answer for it. When Baptiste closed out that first set, the narrative immediately shifted to whether this could be a massive upset. The number 3 seed on the ropes against the world number 70. Baptiste was halfway to a major shock, and everyone watching could feel it. This wasn't just a competitive set. This was Baptiste outplaying Gauff in almost every category. Here's the thing about Coco Gauff. She's developed this almost supernatural ability to reset and come back from bad situations. She doesn't let matches slip away easily. She digs in, she fights, she competes. And the second set was a masterclass in exactly that. Gauff came out for the second set like a completely different player. She immediately broke Baptiste's serve and raced to a 3-0 lead. Whatever adjustments she made during the break between sets were clearly effective because the momentum shifted instantly. Baptiste, who had been so dominant in the first set, suddenly couldn't win a game. Gauff bageled her, 6-0, a complete shutout. After dropping the first set 6-3, Gauff responded by not allowing Baptiste to win a single game in the second. That's not just a comeback, that's a statement. That's Gauff sending a message that the first set was a fluke, and she's still in complete control of this match. The way Gauff played that second set was ruthless. She was moving better, hitting cleaner, serving with more confidence, and making Baptiste chase balls all over the court. Every mistake from the first set was corrected. The double faults disappeared. The tentative play vanished. Gauff was locked in and playing the kind of tennis that got her to world number 3 in the first place. Baptiste had no answers. She went from looking like she might pull off the upset of the tournament to getting absolutely demolished in the span of about 30 minutes. And that's the danger of playing someone like Gauff. If you don't close out the match when you have the chance, she's going to figure you out and make you pay. The third set was tight early on with both players holding serve. Baptiste was trying to find the form she had in the first set, and for a few games, it looked like she might make this interesting again. But Gauff wasn't about to let this match slip into dangerous territory. She broke Baptiste's serve to go up 4-2, then held to make it 5-2, and eventually closed out the match 6-3 in the decider. The final scoreline was 3-6, 6-0, 6-3. And while it might look like a comfortable win when you glance at the numbers, anyone who watched the match knows it was anything but comfortable for the first hour. Gauff was in serious trouble. She was on the verge of dropping the match. And then she completely turned it around and dominated the rest of the way. What's fascinating about this match is how it fits into the larger pattern of Gauff's career. She's always been someone who plays better when she's down. When things are going smoothly, she can get a bit complacent or lose focus. But when she's facing adversity, when her back is against the wall, she elevates her game to another level. That's a valuable trait to have in tennis, especially at Grand Slams where matches can swing back and forth and mental toughness is just as important as physical skill. But it's also a bit concerning that Gauff keeps putting herself in these positions where she has to come from behind. At some point, she's going to face an opponent who doesn't collapse after winning the first set, and then what? Baptiste is a solid player, but she's ranked 70 in the world for a reason. She's not one of the elite players on tour. The fact that she was able to take a set off Gauff and make her work that hard is a bit of a red flag. Because when Gauff faces someone like Aryna Sabalenka or Iga Świątek later in this tournament, she's not going to be able to afford a slow start. Those players will punish her for it and won't give her the chance to reset and come back. The 11 double faults in the first set are particularly worrying. That's a technical and mental issue that needs to be addressed. You can't be giving away free points like that at a Grand Slam, especially against lower-ranked opponents who are going to take advantage of every mistake you make. Gauff's serve has always been a bit of a weakness in her game, and matches like this expose that vulnerability. But credit where credit is due, Gauff showed incredible mental strength to turn this match around the way she did. A lot of players would have panicked after losing that first set so badly. They would have let the doubt creep in, and the match would have spiraled out of control. Gauff didn't do that. She stayed composed, made the necessary adjustments, and imposed her will on the match. The bagel in the second set was particularly impressive because it showed Gauff's ability to completely neutralize an opponent's strengths. Baptiste had been hitting with so much power and confidence in the first set, and Gauff just shut all of that down in the second. She took away Baptiste's time, forced her into defensive positions, and made her play the kind of tennis she wasn't comfortable with. That's high-level tennis strategy, and it's a skill that separates good players from great ones. Anyone can hit hard, but being able to read your opponent, identify what's working for them, and then systematically take that away, that requires intelligence, experience, and adaptability. Gauff showed all three of those qualities in this match. The third set was more about Gauff managing the situation and not letting Baptiste back into the match. She didn't play perfect tennis, but she played smart tennis. She held serve when she needed to, broke when the opportunity presented itself, and closed out the match without any unnecessary drama. Professional, efficient, effective. After the match, there was a warm embrace between Gauff and Baptiste. They're good friends off the court, and you could see the mutual respect between them. Baptiste played an incredible first set and pushed Gauff to her limits. She has nothing to be ashamed of. She went toe-to-toe with the world number 3 and made her earn every point in that comeback. But at the end of the day, class prevailed. Gauff is the more experienced player, the higher-ranked player, and the player with more Grand Slam success. When it mattered most, that experience and quality showed through. Baptiste gave her a fight, but Gauff had the tools and the mental toughness to find a way to win. Now Gauff moves on to the fourth round, where she'll face Karolina Muchova. That's going to be a completely different challenge. Muchova is ranked 19 in the world and is capable of playing incredible tennis when she's healthy and in form. She's got variety in her game. She can hit big, and she's proven she can beat top players on the biggest stages. Gauff leads the head-to-head 4-0 against Muchova, so she's got history on her side. But tennis is a sport where past results don't always matter. Muchova is going to come in with nothing to lose and everything to gain. She's going to try to exploit the same weaknesses that Baptiste exposed in that first set. And if Gauff comes out slow again, Muchova is good enough to make her pay for it. The key for Gauff going forward is going to be starting matches better. She can't keep spotting opponents a set and then relying on her ability to come back. That strategy works against lower-ranked players who might get nervous or tight when the match gets close. But against elite players, it's a recipe for disaster. Gauff needs to come out aggressive from the first point. She needs to establish her serve and cut down on the double faults. She needs to dictate play from the baseline and not let opponents push her around early in matches. If she can do that, she's capable of beating anyone in the draw. But if she keeps starting slow, she's going to find herself in trouble sooner rather than later. The Australian Open is Gauff's chance to prove she's not just a one-slam wonder. She won the US Open in 2023, which was an incredible achievement. But to be considered one of the truly elite players in the sport, she needs to win multiple majors. She needs to show she can do it on different surfaces and in different conditions. And the Australian Open represents a huge opportunity to do exactly that. The draw has opened up a bit with some early upsets, so Gauff has a legitimate path to the final if she can keep winning. But she's going to have to play better than she did in the first set against Baptiste if she wants to go deep in this tournament. The margin for error gets smaller with every round, and the opponents get tougher. This match against Baptiste was a wake-up call. It showed Gauff that she can't take anyone for granted and that she needs to be locked in from the first point of every match. The fact that she was able to turn it around and win is a positive, but the fact that she put herself in that position in the first place is a concern. Moving forward, Gauff needs to find that balance between staying relaxed and staying focused. She's at her best when she's playing free and aggressive, but she also needs to maintain concentration and intensity throughout the entire match. That's the challenge for her as she tries to navigate the rest of this tournament. The good news is that Gauff has shown time and time again that she can handle pressure. She's won big matches before. She's come back from deficits before. She knows how to win. Now she just needs to put it all together and play consistent, high-level tennis for 7 matches in 2 weeks. So there you have it. Coco Gauff survived a major scare from Hailey Baptiste and is through to the 4th round of the Australian Open. The comeback was impressive, but the slow start is concerning heading into tougher matches. If you want full coverage of Gauff's run and all the Australian Open action, smash that like button and subscribe. Can Gauff win this whole thing or not?